Hello, lads. How you doing? Great show as always.
Boy.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Look, obviously, big news. Ten Hag's gone. What's the future look like?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit uncertain, to be fair with you. I think, obviously talk about this Amorim, obviously highly rated around Europe, but not at a top club, not in a top league. It reminds me a little bit, about 10, 15 years ago, we had Andre Villas-Boas, if you remember. One, I think it was a quadruple with Porto.
Yeah.
Came in sort of, great big fanfare. This is the next big thing, young coach from the Portuguese league, and just didn't really click for him, obviously. Wound up at Chelsea, I think went to Spurs. I'm not quite sure where he is now, to be honest with you. I don't know if he's still coaching. But I just think, when there are potential options out there, like a Xavi, like a Zidane, who have done it at the absolute top elite level, this is just another risk for Manchester United, I feel.
Well, everyone you bring in is a risk. Do you know what I mean? Like,
There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee unless you're bringing in Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
There is no guarantee in football. And, that's why managers at the moment, as Cundy said, these young managers are getting the opportunities. You can't take one failure in AVB and think that that's going to happen with everyone. Like, that's not the case. He looks like a really bright manager. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of work to be done at Manchester United, and it ain't just the manager. I thought Xavi would have been a good option, because of who he is and what he's done in the game and the style of football that he wants to play. But it looks like they're going with Amorim. So, if it does happen, we'll see what happens. But I get you, but there's nothing guaranteed in football.
No, there's not. I mean,
but I can guarantee it's going to be better than Ten Hag.
I don't think it'll be much worse. I agree with that's what you chaps are saying about Ineos and supposed to be this great.
Dan, your line's no good, mate. We got your point now. Let's go to.
Sorry, going back to the Ineos situation, right?
Yeah, go on.
They have made a bit of a Horlicks of this, haven't they?
What's a Horlicks? What do you mean?
A mess. It's a mess.
What's a Horlicks?
It's just an expression. I don't know.
But Horlicks is like a drink. Like a
it's
Horlicks,
a drink.
have it at night, put you to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I take when I have to.
That's one version of Horlicks. The other version of a Horlicks is making a right pig's ear of it. Okay, I'll do it again, right?
Okay,
They've made a bit of a pig's ear of it, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. What's a pig's ear, though?
Pig's ear? I don't know.
Why pig's ear?
Don't know.
Why is the expression pig's ear?
Don't know. Good question again.
Do you know what I mean?
That was a good question tonight.
Yeah, go on. Start again. Do
okay, right, okay. They made a right catastrophe of it.
A what?
Catastrophe of it.
Seems a bit harsh.
It isn't. It's a catastrophe. It's a disaster.
I think I prefer pig's ear.
Pig's ear? Yeah. Horlicks? Anyway,
Horlicks.
They made a bit of a mess. That's what I'm saying. Detritus. There's a lot of detritus out there.
Is that your point?
That's my point, mate.
Is that
what I'm saying is, though, they ain't been here that long. They made the big decisions they've made. They ain't made many right yet, have they?
They ain't got many right.
What have they got right so far?
Sacking Ten Hag.
It's the first thing they've done right.
It's the first thing they've done right.
Yeah.
That's literally the first thing. Everything else has just been a shambles.
And that's been a Horlicks.
Yeah. Let's go to Lewis, who's a Man United fan. Lewis?
All right, Lewis.
How we doing, boys?
All right, matey.
Oh, I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing. I've been waiting for this day for months and months, and finally he's gone. So, I'm delighted. Look, but this has been, months too long, isn't it? I mean, it should have happened. A nice time, like you said, Jamie, was after the FA Cup win. Thanks, Eric. You go off with your dignity, head held high, blah, blah, blah. But they've made such a mess of this Ineos, haven't they? It's so obvious.
A Horlicks. They made a Horlicks of it, Lewis.
They've been kicking the can down the road, haven't they, right? And delaying the inevitable with this. Should have been in the summer. We've missed out then in the summer on Hansi Flick, who went to Barcelona. And then we missed out now recently on Thomas Tuchel. But look, at the end of the day, Ten Hag, for me, had plenty of time, 2.5 years nearly. He's a cup manager, right? Fair play. The one or two highs we did have under him, he won us a League Cup, FA Cup, which I thank him for. But in terms of the league and the European campaigns, have been disastrous. Yeah. I mean, his tactics, in-game management, team selection, they left you scratching your head most games. Still no style of play after 2.5 years. But, I mean, how he survived this long, you think, after all the lows of the 7-0 to Liverpool, bottom of the Champions League group, the worst Premier League season ever. How did he survive all those sackable, offences in my book? And now, they gave him all this money in the summer. We've got more or less like a Dutch stroke Ajax team. This new manager coming, whoever it's going to be, might not like all these players. And you think, what's ironic? They're trying to save money, Ratcliffe, by cancelling the Christmas party and doing all these things, sacking people behind the scenes, trying to save money. they've cost themselves a lot more money by extending his contract and then sacking him 3 months later because they've got to pay him off more, haven't they?
Yeah, and signing £100 million worth of players that the new manager might not want.
So they're trying to save a few quid by cancelling the Christmas party, but it's cost themselves millions. I mean, this board of 4, 5, 6 of them all knew this new sort of board we've got under Ratcliffe, and you just think you should be making the right calls. This has been obvious. And you've just
made a good start, has it, Lou? I mean, when you're thinking the mess and the Glazers, all the stick that they've took, Ratcliffe comes in, gives it the big one.
And he has given big licks, hasn't he?
He's given it massive time.
Yeah,
it's like Gabby.
Jamie, I was excited when they came in. I thought, right, you lot, you should know what you're doing. You're going to make the right calls, get rid of Eric, get in a top-name manager. And now look at the season, right? Whoever it's going to be. I know it's Van Nistelrooy for a few games, but whoever's coming in, look at where we are in the table. Premier League, we're miles off top 4, and we're way off the Europa League as well. So whoever's coming in is behind the 8 ball straight, and it shouldn't be like that. Should have been someone in the summer, and then you can give them a pre-season, getting the players they wanted with that money Ten Hag's blown on the rubbish players, and the squad we're left with, all that money spent, there's still too much deadwood there. There's still too many players who are not good enough for me. And we've got no goal scorer, and there's too many players there who just don't cut the mustard for me after all that money. So United are going to struggle. It's going to take a few windows for this new manager, whoever it is, to filter out players and get in some players, get the style of play. So it's going to be a long one. But overall, I'm happy. He should have gone a long time ago, but finally he's gone today. So he had his time, he had his chances. He had the last chance saloon. I kept hearing thin ice. Last.
Look, how will you look back? How will you look back on it though, with him in charge? Would you say it's had some success? 2 trophies.
Yeah, I mean, look, he won us 2 cups. You can't sort of totally write him out, but for me, Jay, he was a cup manager. If you give him a decent cup draw, which to be fair, we did have, had a lot of home games. In that League Cup win and FA Cup win, then on the day it's a one-off game, like we beat City in the final, FA Cup final, we beat Liverpool in the quarter-final. On a one-off day anyone can win, but on the meat, the what they call it, the meat and drink, the bread and butter.
Your bread and butter.
The bread and butter is the league, and what's he won? 1 in 12 European games. He can't do it in Europe.
They don't want to know over a year in Europe.
No, exactly. It's a disaster. So for me, he was a good cup manager.
Can I just add? Can I try and cheer you up a bit, Lewis? Right? It's only 9 games into the season, right? There is. It's so early in this season, right? There is so much still to play for, right?
Go on.
So if you beat Chelsea at the weekend, right, which is not impossible, right?
No, it's not impossible.
And I think it's fair to say Chelsea made a pretty good start to the season, right?
Yeah, you're doing well.
Right?
Yeah,
right?
doing well. Yeah.
You're 3 points behind Chelsea.
No, I get it. Yeah, I'm not saying we're cut adrift, but
when you put it like
salvage, that. Yeah, we can salvage maybe. I don't think we'll get top 4 with a new manager, but Europa League spots is where we're probably aiming, and Europa League, get that, qualify for the knockout stage. Yeah. Still got the FA Cup, League Cup, so it still could be a decent season. I'm not saying it's totally dead.
No. But can I just turn it round again as well, though? Can I just turn it around again, right? If Chelsea beat you, you could be 16th.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought I'd just give it a little bit. I'm going to give it one hand, take with the other.
No. Look. I mean, it can be salvaged, but we shouldn't be in this terrible place. If we'd done the right.
This ain't an overnight fix for me. Like this has been going on for how many years with Man United? It's not an overnight fix. You stuck with it with Ten, and you know what? They stuck with Ten Hag. They gave him the opportunity, but it wasn't the guy to stick with.
But Jay, they didn't believe in him.
No,
they didn't. It was just look. Let's just make sure we get. Now we know who he is. He knows the players. Let's just run with this and see how things go. He was never going to ever going to take charge of next season. Never in a million years. This was a 1-year deal. I know he had a year on top, but this was just, as we said, kicking the can down the road. Yeah. And they kicked it. They kept kicking it. Yeah. Now the can's in the bin.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.